Hi, this is Dr. Rugenstein, and I am in Albany, New York, in what is known as Arbor Hill, and I'm actually standing in front of what was once known as Goat Hill, and we're going to be looking for, well, what was an observatory. I doubt anything like that's around anymore, but we're going to look around and see if we can find anything. Supposedly it's where Arbor Hill Elementary School is. Let me turn this around here and let you see a better view of where I am. So that's downtown Albany over there. We're on the corner of Lark and Marshall. That's dead-ended there. That is the elementary school over there, Arbor Hill Elementary School. You can see somewhat over there. And this is what was known as Goat Hill. Now, I don't know what we're going to find here. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. This looks like some sort of drainage thing or something for these homes. Now, I'll drive up there eventually, but I'm looking up here to see what this is. This looks like something that is part of drainage or something. I'm not quite sure what that would be. But it's all terraced. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it's storm drains. It's where the storm drains up there. Walk around here and see what we can find. Something comes through here periodically. Not sure what. I don't think anything was built. Well, I shouldn't say that. But this was Goat Hill. Now, in the 1850s, Albany was an up-and-coming city. It was, on par with Boston and Washington, D.C. at that time. And, the people here wanted to have a university. They wanted to have something that was similar to those cities there. So they figured the cornerstone of a new university was going to be an observatory. And so they started building in 1852 on land that was donated by Stephen Van Rensselaer IV. And he donated this place here, Goat Hill. The observatory was dedicated in 1856, and I'm walking into people's property here. Let me find another place to go. In any case, over a period of time without a university, it didn't have much going on. And so it started to fall on hard times. And during the Civil War, when there was disputes in the management and leadership, they had a number of problems. And then it was taken over by George Washington Hugh. And he started to run it for public type things. Let me see if I can get out of this. This is all prickers here. I walked out of where I wanted to be. This is a trail here. In any case, after the Civil War, the interest started to wane, and then it was closed in 1873. And then we find in 1876 the observatory was revitalized, and it was started over again. New leadership, it started to become technical astronomy, not just people viewing things, but these trees look rather old here. This looks awful hilly here. In any case, what we find here is that it was closed. Well, it had new leadership after it was opened in 1876, and then over time it had to be moved because the railroad, which is over in another spot behind us, because of that they had to move it eventually, and in 1892 they built another another observatory over on South Lake Avenue in Albany, which is south of here. It opened in 1893, and where this one was, the first Dudley Observatory, was closed and eventually demolished. I will have maps of all this as I'm talking about it. But this, I'm here on a Sunday. And the reason I came on a Sunday was this is a school. And I did not want to have, I didn't want to be walking around a school with a camera in this area. And I don't know if there's anything else I can see here. I'm going to walk through here. Oh, there's a trail here. I'm not sure for what or who. Tree down here. I don't know. That's the school. It very well could have been right there, because this is way too hilly for anything, any sort of structure itself. I'm going to go through here though, and then yeah, that's the school right there. Well, I'm going to go down through here. The school isn't open today, so I'm not quite sure what trouble I will get into. So I was hoping to find sort of something. See this? Oops. Oh my goodness. Carrying around stuff. See, that's all. You know, when you look at maps, and you can tell we are in the area. You see on that one map where I showed the area of where it was compared to today, and we're in that area here. But that's all really steep up there. It wasn't on. If it wasn't on this level, it's on the level above. We'll drive over there too. But I don't see anything here that would even, that's a pretty steep hill there. That's all pretty steep. And I was behind where I thought it might have been, but I don't see anything. Where it would have been level enough. And this has all been bulldozed and changed and everything in here too. But it could have been, yeah, you know, when you look at the pictures, that does look like a flat up in there. I'm going to turn this off and climb through there. Well, I was just down there, but it was kind of bushwhacky. So I came up here, and sure enough, in this one little flat area here, I see remnants of building. There's stuff stuff here. I think we found where it was. I really do. Because that's concrete, that's not. And it was on a gentle rise behind it. And I think we found it. I think we actually found what was left of the Dudley Observatory. Because it's a large flat area here. There's certainly remnants of building. Certainly that one piece over there. I'll walk around here, see if we can find anything else. Yeah, this is a gentle slope. This, I'm almost positive, this is where the original observatory was in 1856. But when you look at pictures of it, it is on a, there's a hill back there behind that. And yeah, yep. That's foundation right there. You see bricks here, bricks right there. That's all foundation there, no doubt about it. This is some more here. Yeah, this is where the building was. Probably right now I'll show you a picture of what it looked like at one time. But yeah, I like it when I find things. So like I said, they started building in 1852. This was land that was donated by Stephen Van Rensselaer the Fourth. 1856 it was dedicated. Unfortunately, the cornerstone it was supposed to be for a university never occurred, and it closed in 1873 over a period of hard time, bad leadership, things of that nature. During the Civil War, it was run for the public, and then 1873 it closed. Look at all these ruins. This is all from that first observatory. All of this here. Anyways, 1876 it was revitalized, and then it became technical. Star charts, things of that nature. And then had closed because of the railroad. Eventually it moved to South Lake Avenue in Albany, and it opened there in 1893. After that, sadly, it went into a strip mall, and now what's left of the Dudley Observatory is at Siena. The reason I'm not even bothering with the second site is because I know it's been paved over. It's part of Albany Med down there and all that. It's all gone. I didn't think I was going to find anything here, but I did. This is the ruins of the first Dudley Observatory. Look at this. Yeah. Rebarb. Well, I was going to kind of give up, because I just thought, well, it was so hilly, so disastrous trying to get over here. And then look at this. It's all right there. You can see the finishing on it. There's some of it over there. And some of this wasn't moved because of the school. This wasn't that way. That tree's been there a long time. No, this is where it was. The ruins of the first Dudley Observatory. I almost thought at first this was, when I walked up here, I thought, well, that's an erratic, I must be wrong. But then, you can see the brick. You can see the brick in it. There's another finished step right there. We'll walk up in here a little bit. There's other stuff in here from other people. Just going back here to see if there's anything else. Oh, my goodness. Some old furniture there. Something there. I'm sure there's nothing here from the observatory itself. I'm sure that's all gone. But I'm sure it reached back up in there too. But you can see lots of brick, a lot of stuff on the ground here. Certainly you can see all that over there. It was fairly large. It was fairly large. Well, it was an observatory, you know. Now, I have no doubt there's been landslides here. Troy is famous for its landslides. So some of it's probably been covered up. The big pieces aren't covered up, and those probably were broken down somewhere along the line. I'll walk over here. There's lots of vines on the ground. Just look over here to see if there's anything else we can spot. This is all fairly level. Well, I'd say level. No doubt over time it has slid down. But that's where it was. That's where it was. It looks like a trail over this way. We'll just take a look, see if there's anything else. Well, now there's, that's part of the foundation right there. You can see it sticking up. This looks like it was once a road. And there was a circular drive that went around the observatory. There's a number of outbuildings too. But yeah, that's not stone. That's part of the structure. There's more concrete there. So yeah, bricks. This goes out to another area. Yeah. This could have been a road that came in and around right there. It looks sort of like wide like a road. Again, there'll be maps. Oh, there's some finished stone right there. So we got two things going on here. They cleaned up that part up there on top of the hill and built, I don't know what they called, buildings of one form or another. Homes. That's all concrete. This is all part of it. I'm glad I took a few extra minutes and just looked. I'm going to go down over here. And I think it was wise to come here on a Sunday. Again, can you imagine if they saw some guy with a camera walking around in the woods behind an elementary school? Well, it starts to get worse over that way. So no, I don't think it went any farther than what we see right here. But we know it came, it's way over here. We know where that brick is. There's that over there. We found stuff on the other side of that, about another 20 feet or so. Maybe even farther than that. We're way over here. So this is where we first walked in and started seeing things. And I would bet. Well, no, look over this. Am I finding more here? As I said, there was outbuildings too. And there's concrete right there. No, that's part of this, but that's brick. This could have been where one of the outbuildings was, something of that nature. Very possible. Very possible. Surprisingly enough, it's where I thought it might be when I was looking at maps and comparing old streets. No, I don't see anything, and this is too steep for... There might have been an outbuilding or something up there. It's rather flat. This, for all the life of me, looks like an approach, which I think is what I walked up on. I could have. Yeah, I think I did. Yes. This is where I came up and I first started to see remnants. So naturally there'll be all sorts of maps that have been flown up through this entire process. Yeah, see, right when there's all this evidence. There's no doubt in my mind. This is where the first observatory was. I am going to shut this off and pick up when I get out of here. Well, I just came out of there, and I think I'm going to take a walk. This is, again, an elementary school. Can you imagine if I had been walking around here, even on a Saturday? Because lots of schools have stuff going on Saturdays. See, this is all way too steep. This must be the power plant here. And that's where we came down through, but I'm going to cheat and walk right down the street here. Bold as brass. And hopefully, well, there's people that tag here, so it's not unusual for people to be around. I'm not sure what that is. Oh my goodness. So that's the elementary school. We've kind of made a circle here of sorts. Oh my. So that's Goat Hill behind us. Up there, that's Goat Hill. We're in Arbor Hill, which is of interest to those who are geographically inclined. See, that was all too steep, but we found it. That's the main thing. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm always, I had rather low expectations. I really did. I didn't think we'd actually find anything. I really didn't. But sure enough, we found something. Crossing the street here. And again, this isn't a very busy street this time of the week. So with that, please subscribe, ring the bell, hit the like button, leave a comment, and I hope you enjoyed this. I really do. So have a nice day. Wow. There we go. Must be cold fingers. You got to see me a few more minutes. Aren't you lucky? And that's it.